All praise Yah, the strong one, the creator. Yah knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is unsearchable. Yah is our savior and our only savior. Now this video, I'm going to elaborate on this myth, Yahshua or Christ, how there's so many contradictions and loopholes in this abominable New Testament, where the creator, the people we humble, he made it so easy to dissect it and toss it out of your heart, because he made it on purpose with all these loopholes, okay, and all these contradictions, so it's easy to toss it out of your heart, body, and soul, to know that this is a lie and it's a man-made idolatry story, because y'all had nothing to do with it. Okay, this abominable New Testament was a fool doctrine. It was made for fools. It was made for people who was literally like the slaves, where it can be taught to you, but you can't go back and research it. Okay, they didn't have the ability to go back and really research it and stuff and study it. Okay, so yeah, this was a fool doctrine and has so many contradictions and loopholes in it for it to be tossed out of your memory. Okay, if you go to Matthew 27:9, it said it was mentioned by the prophet Jeremiah that Judas would throw 30 shekels of silver in the temple. Then if you go back to that book of Jeremiah, you will never see anything about Judas throwing 30 shekels of silver. Okay, you won't even see his name in there. None of these names is in the so-called Old Testament, the book of remembrance. John the Baptist, Mary the Virgin, Judas, Christ, Yeshua. None of these names is in there because they man-made idols, okay? They lies. Then if you go to Matthew 2:23, it said it was mentioned by a prophet that Christ will be called a Nazarene. Now that's a lie, okay? And there's no such history by no prophet, okay, states that Christ will be called a Nazarene. In the so-called Old Testament, there is no such thing as a town that's mentioned called Nazarene, okay? So this is another lie and myth. Then if you go to John 15:25, it said that it was mentioned in the book of the law that Christ would be hated without a cause. Well, if you go through the law, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Exodus, there's no such words or verse that states that this myth will be hated without a cause, okay? Because it's all idolatry and it's a lie and it's made up from the hearts of a man. Then if you go to Hebrews 9:19 and you go to Exodus 12:22, it contradicts that verse, okay? Because Hebrews 9:19 says that hyssop will be sprinkled on the book, which is a lie, okay? That's just been added in, okay? Because this thing, and that's what I said, this is like a full doctrine, and a lot of people are just loyal to the person, okay, who introduced them, like a family member or something, and they scared to go against that family member, so they just accept this poisonous doctrine. And I know they have to have a funny feeling like something ain't right, a lot of contradictions and stuff like that. And it just don't add up, because it should have been a parallel, okay? If this was supposed to have been the same book, it should have been a parallel, okay? Whatever's in the so-called poisonous gospel should have been in the book of remembrance, okay? Because it's two different books. One was written in the ancient Hebrew, the other is written in Greek, okay? And y'all never dealt with no Hellenistic Greek, okay? That's an abomination. And y'all's signature is not in this abominable, poisonous New Testament, okay? It doesn't say thus says Yah, okay? That's when it came from Yah. And all these prophecies that's in this abominable New Testament, that's alone in the abominable New Testament, has not came to light yet. Only prophecies that will come to light in this abominable New Testament is the ones that was already mentioned in the book of remembrance, okay? So this is what get a lot of our messianic brothers caught up, because it says those that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. Well, y'all already prophesied all that, okay? Then they love the one where it says that those who say they are Jews, we not Jews, they Jews, they are the Jews, we the Israelites, okay? But it's, you know, it talks about that in Ezekiel 35, that these people will take claim to our land and our heritage. So it's already in the book of remembrance. We don't need to go to this abominable New Testament with all these lies and contradictions, and it's that bold because they caught in a trance. That's why it's called the good spell. You under a spell and you're happy about it. You shouting and jumping up for joy for a disaster that's about to come upon you, okay? And we never needed a human sacrifice. That's an abomination. That's a Canaanite ritual, like I said before, okay? And no man could die for another man's sins. We all responsible for our own. So this book is easy to decipher if y'all give you that understanding, because you're going to see so many inconsistencies and lies. Okay? Just like the word Christ, which is a Greek word, means the anointed one, or bishop. That's a Greek word. Holocaust is a Greek word. Grace is a Greek word. Okay? So it's the Greek influence is on this poisonous book right here. And then when you go back and read the different stories in this poisonous gospels, it's 4 different resurrection stories. Some people was here, then you read the next story, another person was there and that person wasn't there. So it's a book of confusion, okay? Then it says in one story that when Christ was born, he fled into Egypt. In the book of Matthew, he fled to Egypt. Then you go to the book of Luke. He stayed and went to a rebuilt heathen Edomite temple, okay? King Herod was a descendant of Esau. If you read Malachi, the 1st chapter, Yah said he hates Esau, so why would he allow his son to even come in the presence of a rebuilt heathen Edomite temple, okay? Yisrael, we were in exile when this whole mythological story came about. We was not in the land, okay? We were ran out of the land when Antioch Epiphanes came and disintegrated the temple, okay? So there's no way in the world the Son of the Most High, Son, is going to dwell amongst the Euro-Gentiles, the Roman Empire, and the Edomite Jews. Like, that don't even make sense, okay? Then, when in the story of Matthew, when Christ was born, like I said, he fled. And then in Luke, he went to a rebuilt heathen temple to get circumcised, and his mother had to be cleansed and stuff like that in Luke. But then in Matthew, he fled into Egypt. So it's just so many different stories about the resurrection. Then if you go to the Vulgate or the Septuagint version, it does not have the virgin birth in there. So that's been added in with the English translation, with Martin Luther movement, with the Reformation, that added in the resurrection and all this other garbage and stuff like that, because he wanted to stray away from the Roman Catholic. Christianity just an extension of the Roman Catholic, and he wanted to stray away from that. So that's why they were getting persecuted, and there was war between Protestantism and stuff like that, and evangelists and baptism, which was all made from Martin Luther, okay, with the Reformation and the Council of Trent and stuff. They added in stuff. And there was numerous gospels written, okay? After the descendants of Esau wrote it in Greek for the Euro-Gentiles, the Euro-Gentiles started adding to this poisonous book, okay, which was already a lie from the beginning, and they had to make a choice with the Council of Nicaea and stuff like that, with Constantine and them, who changed the Sabbath day, Sabbath day, to Sunday, who added in the word Trinity, and they came up with this conclusion that Christ is the same equivalency to the Most High, because they all one and the same. Like, come on, y'all never had no mention of saying anything. Y'all doesn't share his glory. So you're multiplying y'all words, okay? And this stuff is sickening. But people won't fall for it because, you know, if y'all don't see it fit, then you're just going to fall for the garbage. That's how we know the creators and control everything. These are so-called smart people and scholars and still lost in it. Don't have a clue what's going on. In total darkness. So y'all has to illuminate. If y'all don't illuminate you, then you're going to be in darkness. You can study this book for 50 years and you won't even notice that it's inconsistencies and contradictions in this book. Because when you go there sing, and he just talk about the curses and poverty and problems, really. And they don't really elaborate on the book or from a verse, okay? Because if I was the type, you know, I'm just saying, y'all will give me the knowledge, y'all willing, I will question stuff. And this is how I came out of that idolatry. So people just need to do their research and study this book instead of watching shows and things that don't benefit. This is your life on the line. This is what you're playing, where you could be cut off from this, following this garbage. So just do your own research, okay? If something sounds funny, research it yourself. So what if this guy is a scholar or he has wealth? He's not the creator, okay? And he can't be wrong because nobody's perfect. So just study and do your own research, and you will see things for yourself, okay? And always network and talk and ask questions, okay? Don't feel that you came to the end of the road, because knowledge is infinite and it's a growing process and it goes on and on. You can learn something new every day. It's people that's 75 years old that's on this earth and they just learned something that, somebody informed them with, because you ain't going to know everything. That's why we need to network and brainstorm. So each one teach one. So this is for Yah, our righteousness, Jerusalem, and the glorious sea to be a code. Yah bless.